So we've been living in Uganda now for 2 months, and I feel like we've been adjusting pretty well. We definitely don't know everything. There's definitely days that we are still learning new things. Today we wanted to sit down and share 5 of the biggest adjustments that we feel like we've had to make since living here in Uganda.
These are things that are not necessarily bad, but they're different than the way that we were living back in Nashville. Plans are always very loose. Showing up on time, not a big deal. If you have plans with somebody, they could not show up and then let you know that they just need to reschedule, or if you don't show up, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like very counter to, especially like being raised in a military family. I was telling my dad about it and he was like, I don't know about that, son. It's not uncommon to show up very late to church, and the church service is so long that you don't miss that much of it. If you're late for plans with somebody, they don't care, they're just hanging out.
Well, I feel like part of that is just the common means of transportation here is usually public transportation, and the weather really affects that. So a lot of people ride bodas. If it rains, it's really tough for bodas to be driving, and it gets really slippery. It's the way of life. I think we put this in another video already, but one of the things that was said pretty early on when we were here was there's time for everything. A Ugandan safari driver told that to one of our friends. And we laughed at it because it's so countercultural to American culture, where it's like, there's no time. Like, we gotta keep going. Like, work fast, work hard,
busy.
Don't give up. Like, American culture is so fast paced. It's all about efficiency. And Ugandan culture is just not that way. It's a lot slower. We talk a lot about culture with my nonprofit, and one of the first lessons that we do for Americans and Ugandans that are going to be interacting together is we talk about the differences between individualist and collectivist cultures. So American culture is very individualist. It's all about me. How am I going to succeed? What am I going to do? Ugandan culture is collectivist, so it's all about the group.
Yeah.
If the group is succeeding, you're succeeding.
Yeah.
Both individually have their pros and cons, but I think that plays a lot into how they view time here.
Yeah. You may have an idea of what your day is going to look like, and then you go into town and you run into somebody and they say, hey, I'm delivering this product to this store or whatever, and I need help carrying stuff. And then you just find yourself helping someone carry product to a store. And then when you get there, then the person at the store says, hey, can you go to this other store and buy whatever? And so you make time.
Yeah, the idea is if you're available and there, you should help the group. It's not about you, it's not about your own individual schedule and efforts, it's about the group. And in a lot of ways it's really beautiful, but when it comes to time management, it definitely makes it more complicated.
Especially Abby is setting meetings and then still so American, showing up exactly at the time or 15 minutes before. But then it's totally normal and it's totally okay for people to come 15 minutes late. Yeah. And then the meeting will always go long anyways.
Yeah. I've gotten better about when I have a meeting, I'll leave at the time that it's supposed to start. Yeah. Because that's usually when I can get there and not be waiting super long. Yeah. So I'm learning.
I think we actually really like it.
Yeah.
But it takes some getting used to for us. If you've ever moved to another country, then leave a comment and let us know what country it was and what some of the adjustments were for your move.
Yeah.
Number 2, other foreigners come and go a lot from this place specifically. Obviously,
we have deep community with Ugandans that we've come to know over the past several years. They're not leaving, and that's a blessing. But then it is sometimes hard, when you connect with other foreigners, especially other Americans. There's an instant connection when you find someone that's from your culture living in a different culture.
Yeah, if you meet somebody that's from the US or another country that's here, likely they have an interesting story at the minimum, and probably some common interests. So it's really easy to connect with other foreigners while you're here.
And there is a certain level of ease around people that come from your culture because you're not having to navigate those cultural differences as much. Navigating those cultural differences are such a blessing and have enriched our life so much. But then there's times when it's nice to get dinner with people that are from your culture. You can crack jokes that hit a little bit more naturally.
Right,
Or
when English is the first language, then there's like less of a like brain turned on feeling. The third adjustment, no car.
No car.
And we've talked about this. It's been hard. Where we are is walkable for sure, and we take bodas a lot of places, but we've been advised by Ugandans to pretty much not be out too late at night when it's too dark. Certain areas of town are especially dark, no street lights and things like that. Going to dinner, trying to get back before the sun sets, that's like a major pain. Going to anybody's house for like any evening event, that's like you gotta ask for a ride basically. Or
it's
have
mostly
one.
the evenings that have been hard for us.
Yeah.
Because most of the places that we're going are reasonable boat rides. They're like, max like a 10-minute boat ride.
And we just got helmets for them.
Safety first, folks, but they're dorky looking.
Yeah.
Also, we bought them off of like an organization that like was using them for their interns, and I feel like they're sweaty and gross.
They're sweaty
no
and gross.
To the interns.
And I have a big head, and I don't know, like they kind of sit more on top of my head than like actually protecting me. We'll wear them sometimes.
We'll wear them sometimes. We really got them for like visitors coming in town too. Like if any of our visitors would feel more comfortable riding bodas with helmets, then we can offer them. A lot of the places that we're going are like, really not far rides.
Like our perspective, I hope, has changed on walking, where we're more okay with a half-mile walk or even a mile walk to go somewhere. This is back in Nashville. If we had to go to Walgreens, like
I walked to Walgreens a lot.
Yeah, I never did. It was like a quarter mile, and I'd be like, getting in the car. It's just gonna be faster. It's gonna be more efficient. But maybe now, like it's healthier to be walking more.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely getting my 10,000 steps every day.
Our quality of life is good here.
Need to like take a snapshot so we can look back at this moment because quality of life is good here.
It is good. One time we went to a game night. This was like a month ago.
Yeah.
We went to a game night and it was getting dark and we're gonna have to go, but the game night had just started, and so we had to be like, could anyone take us home after this? And it was good because like the girl that ended up taking us home, I ended up getting coffee with like the next week. It's fun to get to like meet new people. It's okay to not have a car here. Don't want to sound like we're like complaining about not having a car. I definitely don't think having a car makes sense for us here, especially in this time frame.
It's much more manageable, I think, than in the States. Like I want to take an attitude of walking a lot back to the States, but I know that like infrastructure wise, depending on where you are, like it's difficult it would be very difficult to not have a car. Number 4. Groceries. There's a lot of pieces to this one. First of all, the grocery stores in our area have been a lot smaller than a Walmart. Which is fine. That's good. There's a lot of brands that we don't recognize. There's not a lot of brands that we do recognize. That is another one of those situations where you feel like your brain is running a little bit higher gear because you have to really pay attention to what you're looking at and make sure you don't get something that's like totally weird. I would almost compare it to shopping at Trader Joe's. It is overstimulating in some ways.
I'm a Trader Joe's hater, so if you love Trader Joe's, leave a comment and like.
And if you hate Trader Joe's,
him.
leave a comment and say that you agree with me.
Yeah, let's get into a Trader Joe's war right now because I love Trader Joe's. Carson's always been a big hater. I see what you mean though, with the brands at Trader Joe's are not like your normal brands that you're finding at like Kroger, Walmart, all those places.
Right.
So it does take a little more like intentionality to kind of get familiar with, but once you know them, they're better brands.
And I would say something that maybe naively a little bit, I was surprised, or maybe some of my friends or family back home might be surprised. We found almost everything at the grocery store or at another store around town. So it's not like there's actually like a huge gap in what products are available.
Yeah.
A lot of times it just looks different than the ones that we've become used to in the States.
What's different here is you usually have to go to more places to get everything. Whereas in the States, you have Walmart or Sam's Club or whatever, where it's like just massive and has like all these different departments that sell all the different things. You can get paint in the same place you're getting your food and that you're getting like socks, you know? Like even when we're grocery shopping, like a couple times each week, food goes bad a little quicker here because it's not like pumped with preservatives and crap. So it like spoils a little quicker, so we have to shop in smaller amounts and go like multiple times a week. So I think this ties back into like the collectivist culture, but the other part about finding groceries or anything that you're trying to like shop for here is you have to talk to people.
Yesterday I was looking for a really big piece of paper for a video I'm making. So I went to this like print shop, and then they pointed me to one that was a couple stores down. And so I went to that one, and then they said, oh, you know, it's across from this store over here, way down the road. So then I walked all the way over there, and they said, yeah, the next door over, or 2 doors over. And so then I went there, and they finally had it.
There's time for everything.
Yeah, and then you get to meet more people that way.
Meet people.
The last point about groceries that I had thought of, going back to the car thing, it is difficult to get the groceries from whatever store you're at to your home, especially if you have a lot and you don't have a car. Like walking that far is out of the question. Taking a boda is the preferred option, but it's difficult with all the bags and everything, and
I mean,
you're balanced.
These roads are bumpy, and you're on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And your hands are full, so you kind of have to like use your legs to really hang on, and it's kind of scary. It's kind of terrifying. Almost every time we go, we get like a couple pineapples because we use them for smoothies, and we eat pineapple a lot.
And when you get bananas, like I guess when you buy them at the store, it's like 6, like a little bundle of 6. When you buy them here, it's like no less than 18.
It's like the whole like part that grew on the tree.
Yeah, it's like because bananas grow in like a circle around the like stem or whatever.
So they sell that whole giant bundle instead of like sectioning them out.
Yeah, or they'll just sell like a half of it, but it's still so much more.
I would say another thing that we actually don't have on here as a talking point, but that has been an adjustment is just cooking.
Bonus adjustment.
Cooking here. There's a few different things that affect that. One is just, again, like using brands and like different types of products that maybe we aren't as familiar with. One of the simplest things that's been like a learning curve for us has been like cooking beans. Like in the States we just buy them in cans, but here you buy like the dry beans, and we've never made beans like that, so we've had like some learning curves there.
It takes 2 hours to boil them.
Also, we have like an oven and a stove that's gas. We're getting more comfortable, but like in the States we're used to electric, and it just is like a different ballgame.
But I want that to sink in. It's a gas stove and a gas oven. Like we're putting the lighter in the oven, and then it's a fire baking banana bread.
And then there's like a little gadget in there that tells you like about how hot it is in the oven, but it's not exact, I don't think. And our oven doesn't fully close. There's like a gap like this big where it like hangs open, so we have to get a chair and kind of like scoot it against the oven to keep the oven door closed.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the heat kind of escapes through that as well.
It's not an exact science when we're trying to make muffins.
Yeah, I have to kind of just watch muffins or like baked goods a lot because they'll burn quickly.
Number 5, minus the one bonus, time away from friends and family. The first thing that comes to mind for this is in probably the first 4 days we were here, we bought this Wi-Fi package, and it's a set amount of data, and you use it up, and it's like really fast. It was really good Wi-Fi, so we were super like happy to be able to FaceTime all our family and upload YouTube videos and all that stuff. Yeah. And then it ran out, and I texted like the kind of property manager, and I was like, "Hey, our Wi-Fi ran out. Can you help us?"
After 4 days.
Yeah. And he said, "It can't be."
There's no way.
Yeah. And then I kind of explained how much we were using it, and he was like, "Okay, we need to find, like, that's gonna be really expensive." So we found a different Wi-Fi package that's unlimited data. And it's, you know, it's expensive, but it's not as expensive as like it would have been to keep buying the set data amounts.
Yeah, part of the reason our data ran out so quick that first 4 days, because I called one of my friends. We talked for like almost 3 hours. We'd only been apart for like a week and a half.
That might have put a little dent in our Wi-Fi package.
And the other big piece of this is like the time change, of course. So where our family lives, we're 8 hours ahead of them.
Yeah.
You know, like right now we're filming at like 8:30 in the morning. They're all dead asleep. Like it's middle of the night there. And they won't be waking up until like probably close to like 3 or 4 in the afternoon for us. And then vice versa, the time that's most convenient for them to talk to us is in the evening for them, but it's like middle of the night for us when it's evening for them. So it takes a little more intentionality to plan like when we're gonna get to talk.
It's an interesting perspective to like go through your whole Saturday, and then we call Abby's sister, and it's like she's just waking up, Saturday completely ahead of her, blank canvas, and I'm like, oh, that sounds nice. I have to go to bed now. So I feel more intentional because of the distance, weirdly. I feel like I do a better job reaching out to people, sending a text or a phone call, just touching base with people, because it's not like I moved from a job to another job and so I'm just distant from a couple people now that I was really close with. It's like I'm distant from everybody.
Yeah.
Family, all my friends, old coworkers. It feels like in order to not lose the whole community, I'm always sending a text to somebody, seeing how people are, that kind of stuff. And I also feel like making these videos fills that in me a little bit, where I'm sharing a piece of life here.
I'm getting really excited because in 2 months my parents are coming to stay with us, and they'll be here for like a little over a week. And I just have like, I don't know, for me personally, the past like couple weeks I've been getting like a little bit homesick. Like it's not like debilitating or anything. I feel very comfortable here. I feel very like this is where we're supposed to be right now.
Yeah.
But I have like just had a few moments of like, I miss them, and I wish we could be in person with them. I'm getting especially excited for my parents to come visit. This will be my dad's first time to Uganda or anywhere in Africa, and then this will be my mom's second time. She got to come with us last year. You hear people talk about culture shock a lot. I feel like overall we've had a pretty chill experience of like culture shock. I think part of that is just having been here before and having friends here already.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think no matter who you are, going anywhere outside of your home, even if it's not like on the other side of the world, even if it's stepping outside of your home and going to a different part of town that you're not like comfortable in and that like kind of operates with a different culture, you're going to be out of your comfort zone. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be stretched.
Paying more attention to the things around you.
Yes.
There's more to look at, more to watch.
It can be exhausting. It can be a little bit paralyzing at times. It can be scary. It's those experiences that shape you the most. Like it's those experiences that stretch you and like push you to become a better version of yourself. Especially when you can step outside your comfort zone and learn from people that do life differently than you, and you can gain a bigger perspective.
Yeah.
It will reshape the way you see everything, and it will make life more complex and more beautiful.
Yeah. These adjustments that we're talking about, they expand your comfort zone, and then you're more comfortable in more situations.
But it doesn't always come with grace. There have been some times the past 2 months that I've just felt like I'm flailing and felt like I can't find my footing, and have felt like I just want to stay in, not go out today, and like binge watch How I Met Your Mother and pretend like I don't live in this place that's like pushing me outside of my comfort zone like all the time. But if you can just like hang in there a little longer.
Don't forget to comment about Trader Joe's. Thanks for watching. I have a big head, and I don't know, like, they kind of sit more on top of my head than like actually protecting me.